Rehan. Ahmed picks up. It's a sort of tense feeling in the ground. It's gone a little bit sort of quiet and nervous. I suspect the Foxes fans, basking in the sunshine, know the importance of the game and are slightly concerned about the start Willie has made. You kind of expect to go for 50 or 60. It's how many wickets you can take. At the moment, just the one. Could have been two. Kimber is just adjusting his field slightly as Wood is in two. Willie does bang it in short. Willie does try to pull it away into the offside again. It's on him a little bit more quickly than he expects. Thumps in two. Well, he's taking off his gloves and he's going to inspect his tummy or abdominal protector, I suspect. Bounced off the body out into the offside, and yes, he has been, as they say, slightly winded by that one. A leg bye is taken at the end of the fourth over. A decent over that from Sam Wood. Yes, 8 runs from it, but in the power play that isn't too bad, and really didn't get hold of him. Got struck a couple of blows. He's on 25 now, 36 for 1 off 4 the Steel Backs.
Yeah, Josh Hull taking over from the pavilion end for what is the 5th over. A couple more left in the power play for the Steelbacks. A little conversation between Hull, Louis Kimber and Logan Van Beek. Makes me laugh. I go down and chat to Louis Kimber after the toss each week, and I think he's a big old guy, Louis Kimber, and I see him standing next to Josh Hull, and he looks like me. Kimber standing next to Hull looks like me standing next to Kimber. Me standing next to Hull looks slightly freakish with me being so much shorter, but he's a big old lad. Josh Hull back from injury in for the last couple of games. We'll be hoping to get back in the wickets. You can hear him on the Talking Foxes podcast this week, available on BBC Sounds as he comes in around the wicket, over the wicket, left armour, and Willie unable to get a proper connection on that one, and no run. Dot ball for the first one of the over for the left-handed Josh Hull.
Yeah, that extra little bit of nip compared to Van Beek. Van Beek's sharp, but Hull is that little bit sharp, and that was on Willie just a little bit more quickly. And it hit the top part of the bat. He's swinging at the moment and not connecting.
Comes in once again, Josh Hull with his long old run up past the umpire now in towards Willie, and that one's past him once again, but down the leg side. That'll be a wide, and Josh Hull will have to go for that one again. Have you seen in the 2 games and an over, are we seeing him gradually building back up speed, back to strength, do you think, Josh Hull?
I think that the strength is there, and the speed occasionally. The rhythm isn't yet, really. He's still finding his way back to a certain extent, still sort of learning to trust his body again, so to speak.
And he comes once again over the wicket. This one is pulled onto the leg side, stopped really well by the fielder out there on the boundary, and Sam Wood, the man, getting it straight back in. I was just pausing to see whether it was the 2 that they'd taken. It was. So 2 added onto the Northampton score, 39 for 1. David Willey moves up to 27 off 16.
From Josh Hull's development point of view, looking forward to seeing him bowling with the sort of red ball in Championship cricket again and getting a few overs under his belt.
And he comes once again to Willie, and again that one has gone straight past and a leg bye for 4.
Flicked the thigh pad a little bit, so it went wide of Cox. No chance for Cox. Went down a fine leg. Just spraying it about a little bit at the moment, Josh. It's not easy to switch ends for the young man and hit his lines and lengths, or put it exactly where he wants it to, not necessarily like lengths, but you certainly don't want to be bowling down there in the power play.
So, the 4th ball of this 5th over, as Josh Hull comes in once again to Willie, who this time it's gone up in the air and it's been caught. Brilliant diving catch from the fielder, and in fact it's the young Josh Thomas, the new boy. No number on his back yet. He was only announced this morning, and he has started his Leicestershire lone career, taking a catch to give Josh Hull his first wicket of the evening. David Willey is the man dismissed for 27. The steel backs 43 for 2.
Yeah, just again on him that little bit more quickly than he expected, probably a little bit more bounce than he expected. Hit the top part of the bat and lobbed out towards short mid-wicket. Thomas was alert, and he had to be. He had to take a good few running steps forward and then dive to take the catch. He always should have taken the catch, but that's a good blow struck by Holt and Thomas and the Foxes in the power play.
That is, I mentioned before, when a player has been dropped early, particularly somebody of Willie's quality, and particularly when they're dropped, when they would have been out for a duck, every single run, and particularly the boundaries, seem to sting that little bit more. So the Foxes will be very happy that David Willie is dismissed. The steel back top run taker in the T20 Blast so far this season is replaced by Save, who you may remember was out for a golden duck in a reverse fixture.
He has been playing well of late though, and I think a few Northamptonshire fans will be not pleased to see him in early because of the fall of wickets, but pleased to see him get a longer opportunity to bat. He's been coming in a little bit lower down in the order and hasn't really been given the opportunities his form demands almost, really, when he's going to have one now.
Here's the left-hander, just waiting for Josh Hull as he rearranges a couple of fielders. He starts his run up now, does the young Leicestershire bowler past the umpire over the wicket into Zabe, who just knocks this one behind square on the offside, takes the single, and moves Steel back up to 44 for 2. One of those, Richard, just want a shot to ease yourself in, mate.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yes, the power play is important, but you don't want to be losing 3 wickets or more in it. So yeah, they would take sort of 55-ish for 2, I'm sure. Northamptonshire.
Final ball of the over, Josh Hull into Ravi Papara, just drives this one to the man at mid-on, who quickly chucks it to Ben Cox, the wicketkeeper, and just a single taken from the steel back. So they finish the 5th over on 45 for 2, 9 taken. Wide-ish extra cover. Wasn't afraid to hit through the line of the ball. Was nowhere near the pitch of it, but it was out there. Wasn't quite in the slot, but with the field up, he didn't mind going aerial. And again, there was nothing particularly violent about the swing. It was just a smooth, fairly controlled hit to the offside. Not afraid to go aerial, and it bounced out to the wide-ish extra cover stroke, wide long off boundary. For 4, the Para 13 off 10, 49 for 2. Wood, not a good start to the over from his point of view. In he goes, bowls straight at this time. The Para is forward, just pushing it out into the offside. Rishi Patel is quickly onto it, makes us to side, throw the ball at the stumps, but safe stay back in his ground. Just a reminder, if you're listening on FM, we will be switching to Dean Jackson and uploading BBC Introducing shortly. If you want to keep listening to us, then DAB or BBC Sounds is where you need to be after 7 o'clock.
In goes Wood, and ball slightly short, pulled by the pine. It clustered a little bit and quite come on to him. Thomas runs in from the deep square boundary field, so he takes one. Will also be available, I think, on Sports Extra 3.
Oh yes,
7.
I should have said.
So you should.
We're available right now, actually. So people listening on BBC 5 Live Sports Extra 3, we haven't forgotten about you.
You're most welcome to join us here at the sun-drenched Upton Steel County Ground. Well, every county ground in the country is probably sun-drenched at the moment. When Northamptonshire have reached 50 for 2 after 5.3 overs. Sam Wood turns, runs down the slope and bowls a full toss that is bunted by Save out towards straight-ish mid-off. Shahan Masood runs round to his left of field and Save settles for the single. It was a low full toss. Took a while to get to him. He timed it quite nicely, but that is just his second ball, so understandable perhaps that he didn't follow through fully. 51 for 2. Ravi Papara back on strike. 14 off 12 for Papara. 2 balls without play to go. Sam Wood is in. Bowls 2. Papara, who swings thick inside edge down on to